Why did I own slaves? Well, that's probably the best question of the day. And the easy answer, the quick answer, is because I was born a slave owner. I was the oldest boy in a plantation family, so a slave-owning family in Virginia, and I was born in 1743. And that meant since I was the oldest boy, I was set legally to inherit all of my father's property and my mother's. And my first memory was when I was 2 years old. I remember being carried on a horse, on a pillow on the back of a horse by a slave. So my very first memory is being carried by a slave. It's all that I knew. So that's the simple answer to why I'm a slave owner, but I don't think that's a good enough answer for you, because I think you want to know a little bit more than just why did I own slaves? Oh, I was born a slave owner, and that makes it too easy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change this around a little bit so you can see a little bit better. I'm trying not to cut my head off. King George III would like it if I cut my head off. All right, I'm going to show you something. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever seen one of these before, but this is a toy that we played with in my day. This is called a Jacob's ladder. I'm going to give it another name. Instead, I'm going to call this a timeline. This is a timeline of the United States of America. The piece that I'm holding up, imagine that this is 1776, all right, on the timeline. And then all the way over here, this is someday in the future. And every block on this timeline is another generation, all right? Now, we started an idea moving forward in 1776. All men are created equal. So we started going forward. Now, here we are. There we are in 1787. This piece, we made a constitution based on that goal. And then after that, the block keeps moving. Someday in the future, we free all the slaves. Maybe this time in the future here, way at the end, this is when everybody's treated equally in America. So you see, it's like the idea moves through time if you watch that. The idea moving through time along that timeline. Now I'm going to show you something about this toy. This block, 1776, never moves out of its own place, does it? I never let go of it, right? So I never let go. 1776 stays right there. There's no magic trick here. It stays right there. And let's say if this third block is 1787, that's the Constitutional Convention. Well, the people in 1787, that generation stays right where it is. Look, see, it's still the third block, isn't it? You can count. Still the third block, 1787. So none of these generations get to travel forward in time. They do what they can, and then the next generation has to pick up where they left off, and improve until eventually we get to the point where all the slaves are freed, maybe women can vote, and maybe then eventually, that day in America's future, when all humans are treated as they are created, as equals. Now I'm going to ask you to think about something, about that scientific method I was thinking about. What do you think would happen if this block here would try to climb down this ladder itself and achieve that goal all by itself, instead of letting all the other blocks do their part to achieve the goal? But what do you think would happen if we had tried to solve all those problems ourselves, instead of relying on all the generations to come, including your generation, to move us closer to that goal? Let's try an experiment. Are you ready? After careful experimentation and gathering of the data from the experiment, I have come to the conclusion that it fell. And that, my friends, is what would have happened to the United States of America. If we had tried to achieve all the goals implied in the Declaration of Independence, all men are created equal, right away, instead of relying on future generations to take that next step, America would have fallen. We would have failed completely before we'd had a chance to stand up in the first place.